When you think of bamboo and electricity, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Kind of an odd pair, as most of us aren't really looking around the house and asking ourselves, I wonder what would happen if I combined a head of cauliflower with watercolors. Well, you would probably have a very messy head of cauliflower, I would imagine. But light. Yeah. Walk into any modern day home or office, and with the ease of a switch, there is light. Instantly, mindlessly even. The light in our houses and office today, it came from a brilliant idea that's been around for more than 150 years. So there used to be a guy, his name was Humphrey Davy, and he was a chemist and an inventor that studied electricity in the early 19th century. And he invented an electric battery. So without him, we would never be able to charge our phones with one of those little portable things. But after long hours, and I'm sure many cookies later, and along with some deep thought tinkering, Mr. Davy, he eventually developed a light that he could see in the dark. He learned that when he connected wires from his battery to a piece of carbon, it gave off light. The electric arc lamp, as he called it. Kind of hard to say, but it was an invention that would open the door and change in the world in every possible way. So, a number of inventors, they had produced light bulbs, quote unquote, over the next 70 years. But no one had cracked the code enough for those light bulbs to be of commercial use. But in 1850, an English physicist named Joseph Wilson Swan, he enclosed the carbonized paper filaments in a glass bulb to create a light bulb. The problem being, however, is his light bulb had a shorter lifespan than others. Fast forward to a guy that you eventually will have heard of, Thomas Edison, as he tweaked Swan's design by using metal fibers instead of paper, but eventually learned that carbonized bamboo filament could last for more than 1,200 hours. This was the breakthrough the world needed without even realizing it needed it. To remove the science class from the conversation, this turned into the first commercially produced light bulb. It was created and marketed by Edison's firm, the Edison Electric Light Company. Ta-da! Light. Chad, I think the summer break has rewired your brain. I came here for guidance, for help with what I'm carrying right now, and you're talking about setting bamboo on fire? Perhaps you've had a little too much time in the sun this summer? Maybe? No. Thank you, though. I appreciate the concern. Actually, what I'm wanting to share with you is how something we use every day, without even thinking about it, is life-changing. And, interestingly enough, this has nothing to do with flipping a switch when you walk into a room. I'm talking about your breath. Settle down and comfy up, and let's shed some light on this story. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You'll come to learn that you carry around a switch that can help turn a moment of dark anxiety into a season of peace. I'm Chad Lawson, and let's calm it down in 3, 2, 1. Just a quick side note. I realize this is summer hiatus, and this is kind of a bonus episode to get us through to September. But I just want to say thank you. I've had so many of you reach out and say, hey, are you okay? We miss you. We can't wait to hear from you again. Thank you. I've missed you too very much. So thank you. Now, back to the program. P.S. We will be back to our routine in September. Now, there's something oddly satisfying about flipping a light switch, right? I mean, even the sound of a light switch being flipped it's a wonderful ASMR. But the sudden change from darkness to light, sometimes it can be jarring, but in a good way. It's like taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long. And just like that, the anxiety and tension, it starts to dissipate. as you feel so relieved to feel your lungs move again. If you would, close your eyes for a moment. Unless you're driving or surgically operating on someone, don't close your eyes. In your mind, though, picture a light switch. Its ease of use, its ability to illuminate a dark room with the simplest of efforts. In your mind, I want you to imagine that you're standing just before a dark room, like you're in the doorway. Now, let's make it a room that you're familiar with. Maybe your kitchen, or your living room, or perhaps your bedroom. Someplace that you know, someplace that's familiar. Now, the room isn't pitch black. It's dark, say around 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock in the evening. And you can see the outline of the couch, or the dining table, or even the bed, but most of what you see, they're hints of objects. Take a moment and just kind of get that in your mind. Now, in your mind, flip the light switch. As the room is illuminated, you're able to see it clearly, to distinguish without question where you are, and that had you walked into the room, you may have accidentally stepped on a sleeping pet, or perhaps some of the kids' toys, or worst yet, stepped on some Lego pieces barefoot. Oh, we've all been there. Now, slowly blink your eyes open as you return to your present space. All is well. All is well. Now, yes, this light switch, it is a metaphor. Just as a light switch will disperse darkness, an intentional breath can aid in doing just that with anxiety. Your breath is like a light switch. Remember earlier the process of Edison using electricity to heat bamboo, which eventually led it to lighting? I'm oversimplifying the process here. Bamboo and electricity was always accessible, always present, and they were the tools that he needed. He just never thought to put them together. Do you hear what I'm saying? He had the tools, the elements, no pun, but he hadn't learned how to engage them. You have a tool with you at all times that can help ease the nerves. It's just a matter of engaging this tool. When we're feeling anxious or stressed, our breathing quickens and it becomes more shallow. This only exacerbates the feeling of anxiety, creating this vicious cycle. But by simply slowing down our breathing and taking deeper breaths, we can begin to calm ourselves down. It's like flipping a switch. When we breathe deeply, our body automatically begins to relax. I'd like to show you how to engage your breathing by showing you 2 simple breathing techniques. And this is something you can literally take everywhere with you and use at any time. I have chills in my arms right now talking about this because it's so incredible. And I want you to listen and understand how this works. The very first one I want to show you is a breathing exercise called 4-7-8. Again, that's the number 4, the number 7, and the number 8. You may have heard of this. So this breathing method is super simple, yet super effective in reducing stress and helping you relax. It involves breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 7 seconds, and then exhaling for 8 seconds. I'll say that again. Breathing in for 4, holding that for 7, and slowly exhaling for 8. Okay? Here's how you do it. If you would sit or lie down in a comfortable position, place one hand on your stomach and the other on your chest. Now, breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. I'll walk you through it. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale through your mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 7, 8. Normally I would suggest this cycle for about 4 to 5 times. By then, your body is learning, it's engaging, that it needs to wind down to kind of hit the brakes, if you will, and find some calm. So again, 4, 7, 8. Now the other is a technique called box breathing. This breathing method is often used by Navy SEALs. Yes, you heard that. Navy SEALs, probably one of the most stressful jobs in the world, and they're teaching these people how to breathe, how to remain calm in high stress situations. Of all the tools that they have at their disposal, the one that is the most important is breathing. That's incredible that they recognize this. Now, box breathing, or also known as balance breathing, it involves breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 4 seconds, and exhaling the 4 seconds, and then holding that. So if you would imagine just a square box in your mind, and so one side is breathing in, one side is holding, one side is exhaling, one side is holding. Here's how we do it, okay? Are you ready? If you would, sit or lie down in a comfortable position if you haven't moved yet. Place one hand on your stomach and the other on your chest. Now, breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. And so we repeat this box cycle 4 or 5 more times. You can go longer if you would like. Honestly, I wouldn't suggest more than 10, to be truthful, because by that time your body is engaged and your body is recognizing that it's trying to calm, right? Now, both of these breathing techniques, they can be done anywhere at any time. Next time you're feeling anxious or stressed, try one of these methods to help calm yourself down. You have what you need to help ease the mind when anxiety Google Maps your address. And rather than answering the door when it knocks, try one of these breathing techniques. Now, full transparency, will this work for every situation? No, it will not. 2 key points. As with anything, the more you practice, the better you get. The more you practice one of these exercises throughout the day, you're going to notice that things that used to stress you out, perhaps they stress you less, or in some cases, no longer stress you at all. But it takes repetition and practice and just getting used to this to get there. Now, the other key point is sometimes experiences need more than just bamboo and electricity. Sometimes, instead of a light bulb, we need a spotlight or even a lighthouse, meaning we need help. We need something bigger than ourselves. And that help can be a close friend or a family member, or better yet, a professional therapist or caregiver. Don't be shy. Professionals have been helping people light rooms for decades. Think of them as an emotional electrician. I like that. When you find yourself standing at the doorway of a dark room, take a moment, take a breath, go through these steps, and turn on the breath switch. The door to the light will open. Really quickly, the first step is acknowledging that you're in a dark room. This can be a metaphor for any challenging situation you find yourself in. It's important to recognize you're in a difficult place before you can begin to find your way out. I'm going to say that again. It's important to recognize that you're in a difficult spot before you can begin to find your way out. Now, the second step is taking a deep breath. This will help you center yourself and focus on the task at hand. Now, the third step is to remember that there is a light switch in the room. This represents the hope, the possibility that exists even in the darkest of situations. There is a light switch in the room. The fourth step is to reach out and to turn on the light switch. This is taking action to bring light into your situation. don't let that one pass by. This step, the fourth step, is to reach out, turn on the light switch, as this is taking action to bring light into your situation. Now, the fifth and final step is the key. Keep breathing. This represents the continuous flow of hope and possibility that exists even in the darkest of situations. There is hope. There is a light switch. Sometimes light switches need to be bigger than the others. But taking action to bring light into your situation is key. So the next time you find yourself in a dark room, take a moment, take a breath, go through the steps, and turn on this light switch of breathing. The door to the light will open as you begin to walk into a room of peace. I hope you're doing well. I hope this summer has been a wonderful break for you. And I look forward to starting season 3 the first Tuesday of September. Until then, pause, take a breath, be kind to your mind. To find more episodes of Calm It Down, hear the musical playlist from today's episode, or simply wanting to know where to send chocolate chip cookies, visit calmitdownpodcast.com. You're not alone. You are not alone. This podcast was written and produced by yours truly, Chad Lawson, composer, pianist, and nationally recognized Sweet Tooth. And now something my attorney wants me to say. The views, expressions, and techniques in this episode are of my personal opinion and is not intended to, nor should they serve as a substitute for medical advice or diagnosis rendered to you by your individual doctor or other healthcare provider. Only a licensed physician should evaluate your situation, provide a diagnosis, or render other medical advice to you, and you should only act upon the advice of such physician. Now, what I'd like to say. I am an extreme empath by nature, but my profession is that of a composer and pianist, not a licensed therapist or physician. I hear from thousands of listeners how my music has helped them through various stages of emotional needs, and I simply want to offer this and future podcasts in aiding those needs. To find a list of licensed professionals in your area, please visit calmitdownpodcast.com. And finally, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review. While it takes less than 60 seconds to do, its impact will last for years to come, as every little bit helps in growing the awareness and the importance of emotional health. I'm Chad Lawson, and until next time, be kind to your mind.